5, 4, 3, 2, and... Yo, what's going on, Metalheads? This is Mike C with the House of Metal Radio Show, and you are listening to C4OC Radio. What's going on? It's Groundhog Day. It's a Saturday night special in the C4OC Radio compound.
Mr. Saturday Night
we have
Special.
Mr. Denny Ray from C4OC and Denny's Metal Meds.
And Anxious Annie. And this guy and that guy and this guy. Man, this guy needs to calm down, right?
Yeah, you're horrible.
Settle down.
But our special guest in the house tonight is the one and only Rob Chevelle from the band Lit Soul joining us in the compound. And as we just kicked off the...
lovely lady.
Oh,
yes.
And we'd like to introduce you, lovely lady.
Serene. This is Serene.
Yes.
That's Serene.
That's serene.
Very serene. I gig it. All right. Hey, so what brings you down into the compound this evening? In fact, what did we just hear as we started the show off?
Oh, well, what brought me down is we crashed the gates to 98, said, let them truckers roll 10-4. You guys remember that song?
Yes, I do. I like that.
That song is a new song. Well, it's a relatively new song. We have a video coming out, maybe, hopefully this week. It's been a little technical difficulties and all that, but that song's called Outcast. It's kind of a little more of a poppy, not so heavy and seriously as we usually do, but thought it was a good thing to do. A lot of times we do a lot of very epic videos and stuff. So this is like a new one that's coming out that I actually did the footage of. I took all the footage myself with my camera.
Very cool.
And I gave it to David DeVos, who's in Seattle. By the way, he's a great guy. He sings in a Doors tribute band, and he's singing in an Alice Cooper tribute band up there. So he's a really great editor. So we're really good friends. So he wanted to do it, and it's all been happening. But he's having some technical problems. So I even put an event thing out that it's coming out soon, but that didn't happen. So hopefully it'll be out this week.
Now, have you had, has he given you anything to preview of what he's been working on with what you have shot?
All right, I'm going to get into too many details, but it came up so fast, like 4 or 5 days. I'm like, fuck yeah, man, I love this. There was just too much, like, overlayers. It's almost like a 60s acid trip, you know? I mean, I was like, I said, you know what, we can't see the characters anymore. Can we pull that back? Too much distortion. I said, just pull that back a bit, right? And since then, it's just been one problem after another, but hopefully it'll be out this week. But love you, David DeVos, if you're watching this stuff.
But you definitely like what you saw. Just had to.
I did the cuts and how it fit the music and the cuts and the characters, and I don't want too much away, but I took a lot of footage of somebody. Well, you saw the promo with the Yeti hat on, right? It's a Yeti, you know, the abominable snowman kind of guy, right? He's walking around LA, he's drinking. All this stuff, and then there's another character. I'm not going to say. I don't want to give too much away. So it kind of you put that together and put this whole storyline, which I actually really like what he did.
Excellent. But hey, so what else do you have going on? Any new shows going on? You always put on a great performance anytime you perform that for the House of Metal. It's always been friggin' awesome. Always great having you down. And actually, Ed and I were talking about something, so you're going to be getting a call real soon anyway. So just give you a heads up on that.
You're getting a call. Okay. Where's my phone? Okay, here it is.
Keep your phone on.
Ed's touching his salami right now, so we'll get to him later.
Let's see. So we have besides the video, we have a gig coming up February 23rd this month at Petey's Place. I believe it's House of Metal putting it on, isn't it? Isn't it or? Isn't it Tony Lepre and
that's
Allison and Cindy or not?
We're not on that one. We're doing the one that's going on this next Saturday with the Heretic and Cave In. And
we're all family. Yeah. So okay. So I thought it was all right. So there's the 23rd. We're playing with Stonebreed and we're playing with Nightmare. Nick.
Oh yeah.
Does all the Rainbow shows and all. He does a great Nightmare. Alice Cooper.
And I love what they've done to Petey's Place. They've definitely revamped it.
They have.
Raised the ceiling on it and changed that whole
lights
section. Yeah. And the stage and
has
everything.
Been, all that. And I heard the guy who owns my rehearse studio, Mark Robinson in Talon, those guys, they're great guys. And they actually helped renovate all that. And I thought he's going to come to some sound, but then they have another sound guy who does stuff from a laptop or something. So
I think the guy has a tablet or something.
Yeah, tablet. I mean, I hope it's going to be cool. But the point is like I play there a few times, and it's always hard to hear myself on stage. So I'm really looking forward to this, so I can actually hear yourself.
See what's happening.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I mean, if anything, it's always like I'm always expected to hear, because I've been hearing it for so long, just a little bit more monitor up here. So I always tell any band, go right up to the sound guy first thing and just say it, get it out of the way with, because I know it's going to happen. It's like you just know what to expect.
But that's why you need a sound check. You know, line checks are like so whatever, but hopefully we'll have a sound check here, and so there's that show, and we have another one coming up in March at the Rose, and we're playing with Wild Child. You guys ever heard of Wild Child?
Yes, definitely have.
Sure I have.
So that's Dave Brock. He's been singing the Doors since the 80s.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really?
I used to play in a band called the Dispossessed Majority. I used to play drums. This is back in the mid 90s, and I played with him in a band when he played after that too. So I've known him since then. I don't know him like that close, but I've seen him a lot of times. But it's a big circle thing because Dave Brock, obviously the Doors, he was the last singer that played with the real Doors, Robbie Krieger and Ray Manzarek, before Ray Manzarek passed away. Yeah. And then my drummer, Ty Dennis, the guy there on the bottom left, on the right, very far right, he played with the Doors. Funny story is he was actually Robbie Krieger's drummer in the 90s, right? So then when the Doors got their whole thing together with Robbie Krieger and Ray Manzarek, and then they had Ian Astbury from the Cult.
Yeah, I've seen some of that.
It's awesome. You guys see this stuff online. And then they brought in the drummer Stuart Copeland from the Police. And then Stuart Copeland broke his arm before their first gig, riding a bike. So
how freak.
Ray was like, well, he broke his contract. So they're looking for a drummer and scrambling. And Robbie's like, I got a drummer. It's Ty Dennis, right?
Right.
So he brought Ty Dennis in. So Ty played with him for years. And Ian Astbury played with him for like 6 years.
So he was playing in the band.
Ian Astbury from the Cult played, Ty Dennis. The entire time.
Wow.
All the way up until Ray passed away, which is probably 2-3 years ago now. I think, right?
About 3.
Yeah. So then from there, he's now playing. Actually, at NAMM, he played with Robbie twice. That day.
Now it's been amazing. Over the past 2 to 3 weeks, we've had some amazing stories about some of the drummers in some of the bands. You were just mentioning Ty. Guy was playing with you with Anxious Annie.
Yeah. Oh yes.
What's
Dave Good, or Mark.
With Mark.
Metal Mark.
Yeah, wasn't he playing with Cypress Hill?
Yeah, for a minute there.
One of the other guys was playing with Dr. Dre or something. Some hip hop guys, whatever. But just seeing him play with some larger acts or something completely different, it's like, whoa, going out on some crazy tours. Oh, the one guy even played with did a tour with Linkin Park.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
But it's just amazing. Just over the past couple of weeks, all the drummer stories.
Great drummers, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Awesome. There's some drums over there.
Yeah. So we got a drummer over there. We got Pops. We got the Crow. Hey, we want to have the people listen to some lit soul here, and what do we have? Can you tell us about this next song we're going to have coming up next called Behold My Name?
Okay, Behold My Name is, I believe, the third song on Your Crusade. Okay. Basically, it's a heavy song because I've had a few lineups. This band's been around about 10 years. It's my baby, and I used to write 90% of the music, but now with the current lineup with Steve Sampson, I want to give a shout out.
Oh yeah, Steve's
incredible guitar player.
Yes.
Dude, this guy's got, I'm just saying, Dimebag down. He has some
great chops.
He's really good, And he's such a great guy, and he loves playing music. As a matter of fact, Monday, he's like, Rob, all I want to do for my birthday, his birthday's Monday. He's like, all I want to do for my birthday is let's rehearse, and let's work on these new songs. You know what I mean?
Oh, no
So,
kidding.
yeah. So Monday night, we're going to Pro Sound, which is in Burbank, right next to the Burbank Airport.
Nice.
Anyways, he's the guitar player, and my point is I wrote most of the music, but now with this lineup I actually am co-writing with these guys. So Steve's been coming up with great riffs, so that gives me the freedom to feel like, okay, I'm a singer, so I can just, I might play rhythm here and there with him on these songs, but I can write all the melodies and the lyrics, you know, which is really cool because I used to do all of it.
Like you're writing lyrics to his music.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's a lot of his riffs, but what's really cool is also the bass player, Carl Rather. He's brought in, as a matter of fact, one song that's coming up. We played once live at UBG, Universal Bar and Grill in LA. It's called "You're Not Well." It's about a witch, and basically Carl said, you know, a lot of things to change it up and make, you know, take the bridge and put it here and all that stuff. So my point is we're all writing it together, you know what I mean, which is really cool, which is a different experience for me, you know.
And are you accepting it well?
Yeah, fuck yeah. When it's good, you can't deny it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You know, you're sitting there, you're like,
mix,
I mean, there's no like, no man, I don't dig that, or like, let me do this or do that. It's like, it's like that clicks. That's fucking awesome.
That's
so,
a great thing. Yeah, that's very
that's
cool.
magic.
Roll.
That's magic. I mean, I've had in this lineup. I mean, Steve's probably my 4th lead guitar player. I've had like probably 6 bass players. I've had only 2 drummers, and then me. And then you know, you probably know some of the guys who've been in my band, like Jerome Severin, and, you know, people like that. And it's like I just feel so blessed to play with these people, you know, because I'm a drummer that didn't want to play drums anymore. I wanted to sing and play guitar. You know, I'm a Leo. It's like I just wanted to get out front. You know what I mean?
Leo.
I'm a
I
poet.
hear you, brother. Yeah.
You know, it's like I just wanted to like put it all together. You know, so you know, there's a lot of history. There's a lot of deep stuff, man. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Very cool. So let's get back to the music. Here is "Behold My Name" from Lit Soul, right here on
C4OC Radio.
I always forget the radio.
Did you roll that?
It's a long song. It's a long song.
Yeah. Is this title song?
Yeah, but you want to hear heavy one, man. This is gonna put everybody to sleep.
All right.
Go back. Just click right into.
Hang it. Let me front load this.
All right, go ahead.
This is supposed to be the last song.
Yeah.
Hey, something was. We had a technical difficulty. Thing was titled wrong.
Otto's fucking up
This
again.
is Leather Steeds by Lit Soul. Thank you.
Oh wait, what are you done?
Oh, yeah.
speaker?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
That's not live. Now, go in here and go right here. Whoops. Come on. Okay,
And switch that over to auto. Here.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
Oh
good.
shit! Did you guys?
Nope. It's not on the radio. It's on
Okay.
on the live. So yeah, we're gonna have to.
Trust is a word that love is why.
right, that was Lit Soul on C4OC Radio. We have Rob Chevelle of the Compound this evening. What's going on, man? Tell us what we just got to listen to right there.
That song is an acronym, but it's basically the long version is "You Bless My Eyes with Your Cruelty." So there's a video out to it. If you go to YouTube and just put in Lit Soul, "You Bless My Eyes, Your Cruelty," it'll come up. It's kind of it's kind of like a, how would you say? You know, there's a lot of people like it or don't like it because there's a big thing about it. I don't know if you guys know about this, but it has a woman with a burqa, and she's half naked. So people go, "What the?" Because that's kind of a
No.
What?
Yeah. You check it out. Because what it's about, it's a real issue. Just really quick, it's like in other countries and even here, they do a lot of things called honor killings, which is basically they throw acid on pretty girls' faces. They will cut off their clitoris. They will do all these things. If a woman won't marry a man, they will actually kill both of them if they don't do it. This is real stuff. It really, really happens, and you'll never hear it in the American media. So when I wrote this song, I gave it to Matt Zane, who is a great video guy, and he's also in a band called what's his band? What's his band? He's a great singer in a band called Society One. And he did Downfest about whenever that was, like about 12 years ago, something like that. He had hooks in his back, and they lifted him off stage, and he's singing with real. There's nothing around. He has hooks in his back, and they raise him off stage, right? And he's going in circles and all this kind of stuff. Anyways, that's the guy that did this video, and he's done a couple of videos for us. So. So basically, my point is he called me one morning. He goes, "Rob, so what do you think about this concept?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's it right there." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "Wow. Well, let me close the rest of the band on this real quick. Let me get back to you. I like the idea, see, and so it's a whole thing that a lot of people don't know about, So that's the video. There's Ty and there's Steve Sampson and this place downtown LA.
Fuck
yeah. And
that's like we were telling you about the slit that we had in here. Everybody wears gas masks, and it's two big, huge dudes playing guitar and bass.
Oh wow!
And the drummer wears a gas mask, but the lead singer, he was wearing it when he did the video here. He was wearing a burqa, and there's nothing but smoke.
Oh, was he naked?
I don't know what he had on.
Okay.
Dude, there was so much smoke, and it was so crazy that it looked like he disappeared into the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he'd come on.
He was wearing fishnets and leather shorts.
He got like
leather
30,000 something hits. It was the craziest thing. And then after everybody bailed out, all the smoke came rushing out of the thing. So we like to use the
Yeah.
They're freaky.
But my music, if you guys go, I don't want to get too political on any shows, but it's just. Everybody has their opinion. I believe in free speech. Don't get pissed at anybody's opinion. Don't go nuts. But people can have their opinions. So that's something I said, dude. I will love to support that because a lot of people don't know about it. I feel we're more underground. We're more like the black sheep. It's like let me do something that people won't do.
What influences like your music or your lyrics? Because do you focus on certain things, or do certain things get you? Or
I mean, you mean like band-wise or like history or
in between, like when you're writing lyrics for a song?
Yeah.
Sometimes is it just the music getting you going? Does that influence you, or what influences your lyrics? Does something media-wise happen?
Well, songwriting, I always write music on my couch and I put lyrics to it later. But musically, I mean, I don't know. I mean, my first thing when I was a little tiny kid, I remember watching the Rolling Stones on Saturday Night Live when Mick Jagger, went up to Ron Wood's and licked his lips, and it was like shattered and all that kind of stuff. I was like, nothing is wrong with that, but it's like there wasn't a gay thing. I was just like, wow, that's like what the fuck? That's
crazy.
Not just that, but that it was somehow that moment with the notes and everything was going on. I was like, I want to do that. I mean, that was so cool.
Right.
But was that your first like exposure?
Yeah, I mean Motown was really probably the first thing because my parents listened to, and then later, you know, like probably all of us, you know, it's like Deep Purple, you know, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, you know, all those things that happen when you're really small kids. The first music I ever heard, you know, and as I became a teenager, you know, it was like Judas Priest, UFO, later, you know, as long as it's a good song, I really like it. I like everything from the Pet Shop Boys to Slayer. You know,
it's
as long as
heart.
it's a good song. You know what I mean?
Got heart, and you can believe it.
Yeah.
But what are your main who are your main influences?
I say today, you know, because like I said, I used to play drums and all that, and I used, you know, when I came out being a singer and a guitar player, I like The Doors meets Jim Morrison meets him from Billy Vallow from him. I like Ian Astbury from The Cult. You know, that kind of baritone and upper range and actually singing, you know, and all of them are poets like I am, and, you know, putting that together with hard rock, you know what I mean? So that's my thing, you know what I mean? I'm not going to do a whole, you know, Cookie Monster thing, you know, nothing is wrong with that, nothing is wrong with that, you know, but I like people to hear my lyrics, you know, like, but answer your question on, you know, so far as like political stuff, you know, I'm a constitutionalist libertarian, which means I believe in the Constitution, I believe in we the people, I believe what the country has been founded on, you know.
I got something I got to give you before. No, keep talking, but go ahead.
Okay. So a lot of that, it's my lyrics, and Alliance, that's in my lyrics, you know. It's like, tons of songs, you know, I put in there. But I don't want to go overboard and like beat anybody's face down with it. So I put everything, you know, from just whatever. I like writing lines. I'm a poet, so I like writing lines words that when you listen to one sentence, you're like, whoa. You know what I mean? That's fucking killer. If you really listen to the lyrics, you know. Yeah. So, you know, I'm into that.
Yeah. Lyrics are my big thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Like, that's. You could have all kinds of great music, but if the lyrics are weak, then, you know.
And it's got to fit with the melody and
the
melody.
But you got to say something too.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
I know. I mean, there's so many. Not there's anything wrong with it again, but you know, talking about, you know, singing about panties and drinking and anybody can do that, dude. You know, and that's fine. You know, and so it's like
if you're gonna say something, have something to really say.
You know, totally.
Give them something to listen to and maybe even think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at the same time,
it's a mind.
But there are those times you just.
It's a mind movie.
It's a mind fuck.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with mind fuck every now and then.
Right.
We've all been part of that. Hey, but I think when we get back into some of the music here, in fact, one of the songs we were mentioning from one of your previous albums, a song called Stoner Rock.
Yeah.
Give us a little something about that.
Hey.
Okay. Well, I discovered Stoner Rock, you know, many years ago, like Caius, you know, probably the original Stoner Rock band was Black Sabbath, but, you know, you got Caius, you got Orange Goblin, you know, you got Nebula, you got, you know, basically it's very heavy riffs. The chords are dropped down into C sharp probably, and that kind of thing. Well, the Caius later became Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So there's a whole story there, but the original guitar player from Caius went on the Queens of the Stone Age, and he blew off all the other guys that ever brought him to where he was. He blew them all off, and he goes in his own band. You know, and I do respect him a lot because he writes a lot of different music. Every album doesn't sound like the other album. You know?
It's not the same.
But this is my answer to Stoner Rock. So it's basically I wrote a riff, you know, and it you know, because Stoner Rock is kind of slow and heavy. I mean, you can hear the toms and like huge bass drums, way bigger than that bass drum. You know what I mean?
Black.
So it's yeah. So it's like, you know, all that stuff. So it's my answer to Stoner Rock.
I dig it.
Are you ready for it?
I dig it, eh?
I'm ready for it.
Dude,
in fact, I'm going to have to take...
Jerome 7 play bass on this. Down the video. Pull the video. Yeah, right there. There it is. That's it.
Oh, there.
Oh, dude, you got to show the chick in the very beginning. You got to tell... Oh, was that it? You're in the beginning, right? Yeah, it's cool.
You want me to go back?
Yeah, go to the very beginning. You got to see this chick right here. She's coming up. No, it's not. This is, I have a couple girls in my videos. This is...
Like the Les Paul.
Oh, it's not pretty.
That's not real nice. Hey now. Nice smile.
Yeah.
Throwing hey, right? I don't say that thing.
Wait, I missed it.
They're all like, "Who's the chick?"
Right?
Ping, ping.
You can see my influences from the Cult because I have my Cult hoodie on.
Right.
Heck yeah. Well, we're gonna give people a little taste musically of what we're watching right over here. Here is Stoner Rock from Lit Soul on C4OC Radio.
Oh, that's all. Yeah.
That painting in the background is about $3,500. He sent it to me for free. It's finished. He's smart. He came it for me. He sent it. I never even met the guy. He just loved the music so much. He sent it to me with a picture of, said it to bring me something. I got a little package. It's fucking cool. And I brought it to my house and I opened it up. There's this nothing long piece like 6 pieces. So 6 pieces, right? Like 12 pieces.
We're gonna play one more song and then go back on.
Okay. What's on okay. Yeah, and it's a real painting. It's a real painting. He painted it. And then he sprayed with it's probably played 5 or 6 bits, but I can't take any more bits anymore because he won't give away what he does. But if you look at it, there's real paint on it. The canvas side. Very good one here. Feed the rich, harvest the poor.
Death crawling on skins. Victory is ours. Alliance in the skies. On this little planet, let's open up our eyes. Aim on to love. Take it to the aim on to love. Scream, the eyes bleed. Aim on to love. Right to work. Aim on to love. Tomorrow's victory. See
See, we
3, 2, and... Yo, what's going on, Metalheads? Mike C with the House of Metal Radio Show, and you are listening to
C4OC Radio.
We just heard some lit soul there. We got to hear Stoner Rock and Alliance, and in the C4OC compound this evening, we have Rob Chevelle from Lit Soul. Whatks going on?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us tonight, man. Tell us about what we got to hear there.
Let's see. Stoner rock is my answer to the genre stoner rock. I don't know if I really hit it too good. I mean, I like bands like Caius and like we were talking earlier off camera. You know, anything heavy, sludgy, big, all stolen from Black Sabbath. You know,
Yeah.
but you know, come on, let's get real, right? So
Yeah, right.
you know, we can all take from that, you know, and do this whole thing. So that was my answer to that. It's basically drop D, drop down to drop C sharp. So, you know, just this sludgy, heavy on the right, doing a few notes, and then put a big lead guitar over it, put some great fucking drums, put a great chorus and all that stuff. So it's my answer to stoner rock, basically. And hope you like the lady in there.
No, it definitely
She's
did.
awesome.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
gets your attention. For sure.
Wasn't bad to look
Lady
at.
Lit Soul, right? You know,
Say hello.
I'm a firm believer. You should add, you know, some aesthetic women in your videos. You know,
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with
Nothing
that,
wrong with
right?
that.
Yeah, totally.
Sex sells.
Totally. And then the second song, Alliance, is it's kind of like a political song, maybe a little bit political. People go, "Ooh, political." They go, "Oh my God, you know, what are you talking about?" You know, but to me, it's just speaking about truth, and I think everybody should have their opinion and not be screamed at or yelled at or like, "Oh my God." It's like, you know, if you got an opinion, you know, let's talk about it. Blocked, and oh my God, like, you know, the meltdown or, you know, all this stuff. You know, it's just there's a lot of great lines in there. You know, like feed the rich, harvest the poor. You know, revolution is in our eyes. You know, it's just it's about passion and music. And what I like about the song, it's kind of an epic song. I write a lot of epic songs, I feel. So the ending has this huge outro lead, you know, and there's a demo I think you guys have where actually Chris Holmes from Wasp actually played on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's online. It's, yeah,
Ah.
and but then I want to record it later because it was great because it was very fast and, you know, and what I had to work with in those days. And he came in and did it real quick, and he did 2 takes, and we took the second one, and the guy tweaked 1 note because he was a perfect lead. And I remember Chris Holmes, he played at the Knitting Factory one night and went backstage. We were hanging out, and he's like, "Rob, you know, we're hanging out and stuff like that." And he was like, and later after the show, he's like, "Do you want to help me take my shit down to my car?" And he had this like old white 1990 Camaro IROC,
Yeah.
right? But he's so big, right? He's 6'7", right? So he actually had to pull out his the seats, the real seats in there.
Oh, no
He
shit.
put some racing seats on, so he can almost lay down like this, right? And he took out the back seats, so he put all his gear in there in his IROC. And on top of that, he had these bullet holes. They were like fake bullet holes. We had the little stickers
Oh, yeah,
all
yeah,
over
yeah.
his car, right? So we get in his car. This is a funny story. So we get in his car, and then he takes his hair and he puts it all up in his head and he puts a hat on. I'm like, "Why are you doing that?" He goes, "Because he's like, dude, if you know Chris Holmes, he don't like the police."
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So he's like, you know, this and that and everything else. So anyways, he goes, "Yeah, I'll take you home, man. Where you live?" And I live in Los Feliz at the time. So he took me home, and I go, "Do you want to come in?" It was like 4 a.m. by that time, right? Pretty much, because we party there at the Knitting Factory probably about 2:30. Drive, get there, probably about 3:15, something like that. So he goes, "Sure, come on in, man." You know, I say, "Come on in." So then he comes in and had this beautiful place, hardwood floors, fireplace, and all that stuff. I had all my guitars out. He loves UFO, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, loves UFO. He actually wanted to borrow all my UFO albums so he could take it home and burn them. This is a true story. If he's watching it, you know, there's actually a Chris Holmes documentary come up that I'm into. I'm in. When I played when I had the red stuff on
Yes,
my eyes.
yes,
Yeah. There's a guy flew out. He looked me up. He contacted me. He goes, "Hey, I'm doing a documentary from Chris Holmes. Can I interview?" Sure. So that was the same day that I did "You Bless My Eyes Your Cruelty," which has got to be a year and a half ago.
Right.
But it's supposed, I keep hearing it's coming out. But no, seriously, it's like his wife Sarah. I talked to her the other day, and she's like, "Yeah, it's coming out soon."
Because I've even seen mention of it.
Yeah, it's Chris Holmes.
You know.
It's a documentary for Chris Holmes, and hopefully it'll be coming out soon. But anyways, we were sitting on the couch, and he loved my red acoustic guitar. He played that. I played my other blonde guitar. We jammed for a while. He took all my UFO albums, and
did you ever get him back?
I did.
Okay.
I got him back. Yeah. And
yeah, because I know he's not living in the U.S. right now.
No, he moved over there.
Later day.
But anyway, so he gave me those. He brought those albums back, and he goes, "Come on down, to the studio." And then what happened is we brought the music to him because he didn't come to the actual studio. I brought it to him. So he goes, I went to his house, and he played twice. And he played the second time, and I asked him. He goes. Here's a good Chris Holmes. He goes, "So Rob, what are you looking for on this album?" I'm like, I don't know. Maybe how about a huge crazy outro like you have on "Sleep in the Fire." You guys know that song from Wasp?
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucking awesome song, right? I go, I picture the outro kind of going on like that. He goes, "Okay, let me work on that." Right.
Same vein of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he pulls out his guitars, and he's talking all this shit about Blackie and all this stuff. And it's like, all this stuff. And I heard it all. I'm not going to repeat anything,
Breaks out the shovel, getting all the dirt out.
Yeah. It's just me and him in his little studio. And he goes, and he pulls out his Explorer, which is the wood piece Explorer, right? And I remember him sitting in a swivel chair, and I'm sitting over in this chair, and I didn't say anything. I just shut up. You know what I mean? And he's
just
sitting here,
and watch and soaking it in.
and he just picked up his guitar, and he just two takes. He goes, wow, and all this stuff. And then at the end, he goes, "I don't like that one. Let me do it again." I'm like, okay. So he does it again. He goes, "I think you got it." I said, "I think I got it too." So I took my engineer, and then all he did is take the second take, and he tweaked one note. My engineer thought was off. I remember that. I'm like, "Really? I can't hear anything." He goes, No, I dropped it down a little bit. It was a little bit off. I'm like, okay. So there's my "Sleep in the Fire" on the end of that song called Alliance, but it's on the demo. Okay?
Okay.
It's on the demo at that time because that's all I could do. So later when I got
Is that one of
these guys in
over
the
here?
bands, I said, I want to re-record this song, So I gave him free reins. You're not Chris Holmes. Let's go ahead and do it. So that's what he did. And I think the quality of the recording is better, but I wish I could bring Chris's thing into that. But then you have a different tempo and just it's like
it's not the same.
it is what it is, and it's online if you want to check it out.
Yeah.
If you do Litzel, Chris Holmes Alliance, you will see it, and you'll see pictures of Chris Holmes and all that.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So if you're
Check that
listening out
out.
there, you definitely want to check that out. Oh, one thing I definitely have to ask. Okay, now I've only known you as Rob Chevelle, guitar player, songwriter, lit soul, and I said guitar player, singer. Okay, when did the transition, like when you mentioned you at one point you were playing drums, I was like, what the fuck? I had no knowledge. Like,
Yeah.
tell me, like what happened first?
Dude. I mean,
Like, what was the first instrument you picked up that you actually played your first gig
yeah.
on stage? First time you got on stage to play an instrument. What were you playing?
Well, the first time was probably 16, 17 in Tucson, Arizona. I sang in a UFO, Rolling Stones, Black Sabbath tribute band, and I was actually a singer then. But then when I came to LA, I started playing drums. But what a lot of people don't know, and I probably even shouldn't say it, I had this huge gap in my life where I was basically walking the earth with sandals, trying to figure out life for a long time. So I stopped doing music. I really wanted to help people. I was really trying to figure out what's going on in the world and the universe. So I did that for a long time. And then after that, I came back to music. So there's a big gap in my life. So in my opinion, if I would have not done that and I would have done music, I'd probably been dead by now.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So thank my lucky stars, I think now what I'm doing is I might be late in my game. I might be like, late in game's not necessarily a thing, but back in the day, I think I probably would have made a bigger stamp. You know what I mean? But I had this long gap in my life where I was trying to do things to save the world, if you will. So then I got back into music. So you know, and I've been lit soul for a while, and as you know, the music industry's changed, and at this point in my life, you know, it's like I just want to play music and just do
Make
what I
great
do, and
songs.
you know, if you dig it, you dig it. If you don't, you don't, and you know,
Yeah.
if it touches you and whatever, and there you go.
Open your mind.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right.
Hey, well, I want to hear some more lit soul. Hey, and don't forget, hey, if there's any bands out there you want to get your music heard here on C4OCRadio.com, send us your MP3s along with your EPKs to C4OCRadio@gmail.com. Yeah, I like that.
Right.
Yeah, that was
We used
pretty
to
good.
mess with everybody at first because they, like, a lot of people would be trying to do that, and then we do the gmail.com, and they'd be
They do the radio station
yeah,
thing.
they do
Yeah.
the J- yeah, and we'd
It's so New World Order, right?
yeah.
Gmail.com.
So we just cut it to C4OC Radio.
Oh, okay,
Make it easier on people.
that's a good job.
Well, we got some more lit soul lined up here. The next song we have lined up is a song called Home. Tell us about Home.
Him. Well,
Home.
respectively, Home is basically a song I wrote on the couch, as usually I do. It was done on acoustic guitar, which usually I do. And, you know, basically it's a mellow song. So all the songs you heard now is pretty heavy and all that. This is my singer-songwriter side that I actually have. So, which people dig in different genres, you know. So, basically I rode in this beautiful place, and my neighbor moved out, and there was an empty whole place, huge wood floors, tall ceilings. The door was open, and I was drinking wine one night, and I was working on the song, and I walked outside, and it looked like a beautiful night, and I was like, oh wow, the door's open over there. So I didn't know it was open at that point, but I could see there was, like, the lights were off. I knew somebody's moving out, so I just knew maybe the door was open. So I opened the door, and I walked in, and I just went, hey. He goes, hey, 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 kind of thing, right? So I go, fuck, this is cool. So I go in there with my guitar. I sit down on the floor. The place is completely empty. And I start playing it. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And the entire song opened up there. And I wrote lyrics on the spot, you know what I mean? Right there. And it was amazing. And what's really cool, if Allison and Grant is watching, they come over and party the next, probably next weekend. And we're all partying in my place and hanging out and stuff like that.
And the house is still vacant?
You know, Grant from Cooter Brown and Allison Mason, Metal Dave and all that, right? So they came to my place. So we're hanging out, partying and stuff. You know, as the night goes on and we're jamming and stuff, I'm like, hey, come over here. So we go over to the next door. And we go in there and I start playing it for them. And even she told me, that song's going to make it. So that's awesome, you know? So it's called Home. It's acoustic. And, and the girl in there, it's called... her name is Esther, and she's amazing if you look at her. And it's a really great... And by the way, Matt Zane from Society One actually recorded this whole thing and put it all together. And it was his idea for the ending. I won't give it away, but the ending, I'm doing something really, really weird. So check it out.
All right.
I want to see what his idea of really
No,
weird.
we're
Okay, I'm into it. All right. So this is Home from Lit Soul on C4OC Radio.
The best damn show in Texas.
Texas.
Did I make it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh no. I'm sorry. Look at her ass.
Every time. He's like, that's what I said.
Hey, and we're going to go into Petrified Time right after this.
Okay, but it's got to be from Love at War, not the demo. Don't do Freedom. Do the Love at War one, right? This one. Love at War.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, I've seen this video before.
There it is again. There it is again.
Cool video.
Thanks.
We played it last night. Yeah.
Basically, she's a ghost. She's a ghost, and I don't even see her as I'm playing. You know what I mean? So she's a ghost, kind of walking around. She's looking at my face, going, "Hey," and I can't see her, but I can feel her, right?
Right.
And
Whoa,
we go on. This is the Santa Monica Pier. Santa Monica Pier right here.
Hey, I hit I synced it up perfect.
And, oh, almost.
Where's that at right there?
Santa Monica Pier.
Okay. I thought I noticed it. So a lot of the shots were now like here.
I always forget her name's Esther.
You look different with the bandana, too. Pretty cool video. Smoking that shit, are you? You smoking? You want another?
It's in the fridge.
Are you ready for another?
No, it's in the fridge. Eric and Bastard, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen this video in a while. I'm seriously gonna. That's the Santa Monica Ocean right there. That's awesome. Oh, that's such a great shot right there.
You guys are on the beach.
Yeah, on the beach.
Like the Grunion.
She's going like this with her neck because something happens at the end. So check it out.
Pretty good footage.
Yeah.
Just a professional video there.
Right? This is really perfect. It's Matt Vane again.
Look at that shot. That's awesome. That's a postcard.
really
That's
good.
what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's really well done. Yeah, you can tell the quality. Is that your guitar too?
Yeah.
The one you always play?
Acoustically, yes.
Acoustically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of your favorites.
I think so. You have the.
Are you wearing the same? You got a coat shot with us?
Yeah.
The same thing as well.
That's Holly Boulevard right there.
Okay.
Yeah. Right by the Man's Chinese. Yeah. Fucking. What?
Right by the.
On the other side of the street, though. The other side of the street.
Oh, by Viper.
Yeah.
That side over there. That's Hollywood.
Truly see what only other people read in the heart. You see my wings, I do this day. You and I can truly see what only other people read in the heart. You see my wings, I do this day.
What the fuck?
What's happening?
Oh, that was a 10-second. 4, 3, 2, and yo, what's going on, metalheads? Mike C with the House Metal
Good
Radio
night.
Show, and you were listening to C4OC
Radio.
We just had Home from Lit Soul. We have Rob Chevelle from Lit Soul in the C4OC Radio compound. We got to listen to that song, and dude, you were right. That was
What did
something
Esther
different.
do?
A little bit Hollywood production, a little bit.
I like
Oh, that was an excellent video we got to see as well. That was well
Hollywood
produced.
Nights, Hollywood Hills. Literally Hollywood Hills.
Surprise.
But even just first little
Santa Monica
little-
Beach.
even the whole build to it. And what
That
you
was a
did-
great day, man. We all got up early. We went to Santa Monica Beach, went to Holly Boulevard. We went to Hollywood Hills. It was a big day.
I mean, the band actually you actually have out a decent amount of videos and you with how many albums as well? Tell the listeners.
It's hard to
out
tell
there.
because I think I have 7 albums, but 2 of them are poetry. So, but people are like, oh my god, poetry, but one album has music accompanied with it. It's 45 minutes of poetry with music, right? And I have another poetry album, which is my birthday thing, and then I have Love of War. I have Your Crusade. I have a demo they made it online called Libertine Dream. Sometimes it comes up as Freedom. I think that's 5 or 6 albums, something like that. I might be missing one. So yeah, I mean, there's a big history with it. Yeah.
Because anything we have from you is definitely from a physical copy.
Yeah.
So that other one you're referencing, I would not have that, correct?
Probably not. It's probably online. Yeah.
Okay, in that case, we're definitely set. Okay, cool.
And I don't put stuff online. Sometimes I go, oh my god, and I wish I was being paid for it, but yeah.
Asshole.
That's a whole nother battle.
Yeah, exactly,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah.
But when you download music from a band correctly, you are directly helping that band pay for some of they have to do. Like making videos, recording songs, going out to a gig is not cheap.
Merch.
So yes, when you buy their merch, when you download their music properly, you are directly helping them out. So make sure that's how you do it. That's all I have to do it. The Reverend is done.
He's a
I'm
preaching.
just saying.
He's a preaching.
Don't get me
No,
preaching.
no, slow.
Another shot of whiskey, and I could start preaching.
Oh, it's definitely a Saturday
No, but
special. You gotta love
sometimes
this.
things like that just annoy me so bad that sometimes I just really do go. They call me the Reverend because I go off on a tangent. Like simple things like bands. You want people to come to your show? You got to advertise for that. You got to invite these people. What a freaking idea.
No.
If you don't have people at your show, it's because you only shared it to one person. And your mom's probably not going to go unless she's cool like my mom. And that's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
She's in town.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, just little things like that annoy me. We have all these things
Preach it, bro. Preach it.
that we have at our disposal to use to get your music out there. If you don't use them, you probably don't want your music to be heard. Or if you don't know how to use them, you need to get with somebody that knows how to use them. And that would be me. And I can help you out. That's just it. And don't rely on freaking the internet. Go out and watch these bands.
Get
Go
to a
out
show.
to venues. Pay your little $5 to $10. Unless there's a huge act they're opening up for, then go ahead and spend your $30. I'm just saying, because the promoter probably is eating his ass on that one. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
You notice I've been quiet on that topic, man. I've got my ass.
But no, seriously, you got to go out and support these bands. Get off your couch. Go out to a show.
Yes.
One thing, I completely respect the Reverend here, man. Come on.
Yeah, I'm serious. I am freaking
And here's
serious.
what I'm saying to add to the whole thing here, right? There's 2 ends of the pendulum, right? Back in the day, it was like, flyers on the
Windshield
poles,
wipers and
like
poles
windshield
and
wipers and
what-
all, people like, all they knew was like, somebody would tell them, they call them, like,
Word
let's
of
go
mouth.
down to a show, right? Now we have the whole thing, which is what we're doing now, and this is awesome. But I think there's a middle of the road. There's a middle of the road where we have to do this, but people go back to like, there's other things that explode music, and you have to go get off your couch.
Yeah,
And go out and see bands and support bands and like what's going on,
Yeah.
Because I mean, just with everything that's going on today, it's like you're sitting on your couch, you're getting fatter and fatter, you're eating ridiculous
Chocolate chip
food.
cookies.
You're sad.
Where my chocolate chip cookies at?
I'll see him later.
You're sad 'cause you don't have any
I'm
friends.
gonna watch it tomorrow when
Yeah.
somebody took the video for me, so I
Yeah.
can pretend like I'm being there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
no.
It's like, but that's not like you're being there, dude.
It's-
It's a little tiny cell phone.
Yeah.
Little, like it sounds like crap.
Like
it really does.
It's really
You know,
better
like,
if
it's not
you're
like
there
you know?
and
Yeah.
you're filming so
Yeah.
that you can go back and show your friends.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And like I said, if you're sitting at home wondering why, oh, I don't have any friends, I don't have a nightlife, I don't have any social life,
sitting on your
it's
ass.
because you're not getting out to do it. Seriously, any show around here is what, 20, 30 minutes tops. Most of them are like 5-10 minutes
I
away.
have to say, OC is way better than Hollywood now, dude. Everybody used to come to Hollywood
Yeah.
to see shows. You know, the House of Blues is gone. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
that's true.
you know, of course, Gazzari's back in the day. The
But even the Key Club, you
Key
know,
Club,
recent.
all
Yeah.
that is gone. You know?
Yeah.
The FM station's gone. What the hell? Next to Petey's, what's the place called?
Yeah,
Paladinos.
Paladinos.
Paladinos is gone.
Yeah,
All these
that's-
places are gone.
Yeah.
I personally think there's a thing. I think there's really something that's like. It's not an accident. Because there's a lot of people who love rock still these days. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you walk into an elevator and you hear like all that stuff going on, you have to pull that stuff back. Pull back the Wizard of Oz curtains.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Because there's only 3 or 4 producers on this planet that actually write hip hop or beats, you know, or you know, things you want to hear.
Commercialized.
They don't
yeah.
want rock bands anymore, because the rock bands back in the day in the 60s and 70s, especially the 70s and 80s, they're pretty much talking about F the man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're like, they don't want rock and roll really making anymore because it's rebellious.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
So they're trying to like brainwash people with all this other stuff. I'm not saying there's no good stuff out there, or maybe they're here and there, but in general,
Yeah.
it's like that's what's going on.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
crap out there,
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you. And that's the reason why, like I said, I do not listen to FM anymore.
Yeah.
I listen to internet radio, mainly ours, because the thing is,
Being
I've
biased, you know.
tried it. I've gone back to, like, the other day, my phone died. I went to KLOS. I was like, crap.
How many times you hear Fleetwood Mac 3 songs, Led Zeppelin 2 songs? You know,
Dude,
it's like,
if you
know, it's
even
like-
get
it's
to
like-
hear a song, because it's
Yeah.
just flooded with commercials. And I
Foreigner,
understand
2
you need
songs,
to get
Foreigner,
paid.
over and over and over. It's
But
like
yeah.
the same song.
You know, there's
Yeah.
other ways to
Hold on
get
at the
paid.
same
Yeah.
time now.
Yeah.
One thing, a couple things I'd like to say is, one, we were talking about going out and seeing bands. Because if you think, you know, listening to these CDs is great, yes, because you get to hear your music. But you know, it's so much better when you get to stand in front of you and hear you play it and get to feel it. You know, that it's completely different. No matter
When the
how
bass
great
is
this
kicking
is,
you right here,
but you know,
you're getting all of it.
it's
Air in
it,
your
it is a completely different experience unless you're there in person. It's night and day. But also what we're doing here at C4OC Radio, we're trying to help continue and help build the scene here in Southern California.
Okay.
You know, that's been a complete mission. Once Denny asked me to get involved with it, you know, I had all these CDs from years, you know, booking bands. You know, it's like, come over here with friggin', you know, milk crates full of CDs and that kind of stuff, including yours, and just getting stuff loaded up and constantly building on that. And it's turned a little fucking Tasmanian devil
it's a
going
little
out there.
bit.
And you know, it's been great because
You know what? The coolest thing though is the people that, you know, that have been around the same scene, but now they have an opportunity to talk to one another and, you know, just get together. You know, like there, you go out to your friends and you know you never know who's gonna be there. Ronnie North, you know, maybe Carlos will be there. You know, anybody might be there. You know what I mean? From this little thing, and that's how the scene should
We know
be.
a lot of people. If you put everybody we know,
oh yeah,
There's
dude,
a lot of
it
people.
Fucking like,
Yeah.
that's
It's a
lot.
shit.
Actually, right here in the
But-
between LA and here. Yep.
And you know,
Yeah.
it's been really great because there's a lot of listeners outside of Southern California that are hearing us consistently. They turn on and listen to our shows. And we've announced a lot of these bands that do go out on their tours. And we mentioned their tour dates going throughout different states and cities. And we've been hearing it from the listeners and the bands. Hey, we heard you announce this band's been on tour. They were by us and out by Houston, Texas, with it was Void Vader recently, and some band with Riot out in New Mexico,
yes,
I think
right.
it was.
Yeah.
And they heard us announce their dates, heard their songs, went to check them out, and like, hey,
Oh,
they got
they're
to,
down
they
the
got to meet the
street. Yeah.
band that we've been hearing. You know,
Yeah.
we haven't been hearing them anywhere else but here. And fucking all of a sudden getting turned on, bringing on the people and that kind of stuff, and it's great that people outside. It's of course it's getting heard here in Southern California, but outside, outside California, other states, but also the largest part of our listening audience is outside the United
country.
States.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
I showed it to you.
huge. Like over
showed you the
80%
number.
of.
Dude, that's so awesome. In my opinion, there's a lot of people have a fantasy like back in the days, like Los Angeles, California. I want to go there. They got the
Yes.
chicks on the beach. They got the music.
Well,
they
we
got
brought
all
these
this
guys
stuff.
out
But
here.
it's the, it's
Yeah,
the
same-
music.
that's that
It's
whole
the
thing.
music.
And that's a thing, you know. So that's what brings people here. So come on out. If you're watching this, come on out.
Yep.
You know, that's
Yeah.
one thing. Like Ed and I used to talk about. We were we were kids going to Richfield Park High School, and friggin' listening to all these bands that were all coming from Southern California, and it was like, wow, it just sounded so mystical. Like, gonna go there, and say, oh, you know, that kind of shit. And it's been great having bands like yourselves come through, you know, Stonebreed, but also getting to book some of these bands that we used to actually watch on MTV, whether it been like, you know, between having LA Guns, you know, we're going to be having,
Nice.
you know, Jakey Lee coming through
Jakey
soon.
Lee.
And
Oh
that
my
type
God.
of
What is up with
stuff,
that,
and,
right?
You know, but,
I love Jakey Lee.
you know, Hurricane, you know,
I can tell you
Bang
so many
Tank.
things about Jakey Lee. That's awesome.
But you know what I mean?
Well, I'm
It's like,
ready.
none of that's happened until being out here.
Yeah.
But just getting out to the clubs and listening to the bands, getting to know the people, and just, I mean, dealt with literally hundreds upon hundreds of bands, and I think the percentage of assholes is, you know, maybe like 1% to 2% max. I mean, maybe 2%, you know, just under that little thing, but, you know, and that's out of tons of people over all these, you know, past decade. And it's been great having guys like yourselves and the bands and the music, and just being able to expose, you know, tens of thousands of listeners all the friggin' time. And it's been,
Dude,
it's
that's
fucking awesome.
great, man. Dude, and thank you so much for you guys. I mean, you guys are musicians. I know he's a total fucking musician, active musicians,
I
all
just
you
like to
guys, you
bang
know,
around
guys
on
back here.
stuff.
It's like, you know, it's up to us to keep the flame going, right?
It is.
And you guys are doing your part. I totally
Yep.
appreciate it.
And then,
Yeah.
like, passing it on to the kids.
Yeah,
Like at NAMM this year.
yeah,
And then, how many kids were playing metal?
totally.
Yeah, you know, like, usually you see them doing their DTD and they got them. No, but, like, parents today, if we want to keep metal alive, you need to teach your kids some metal music.
What do you, I think I'm doing
Well,
with
you know,
my kids.
I know,
yeah,
you are an
yeah,
example
yeah.
right here. This guy right here is the
Yeah.
example.
High schools and colleges, you know, cause I'm not going to get into a political thing, but it's like they take everything out of it. It's like the first thing they do is take music out.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? It's
If
like,
it
you know,
wasn't for-
yeah. Oh, let's teach psychology so we can fucking smash your face into your brain and
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
whatever. But you know how
Dude.
about, you know the best dude. Back when I was a kid, you know, when I got depressed, what I did is I listened to Black Sabbath Volume 4.
Yeah.
And
I didn't take any pills. You
For
know, I
me,
didn't take any of that kind of shit.
If
No,
it wasn't
it's like-
for Mr. Baker's 7th grade band class,
Mr. Baker
learning the
Mr.
snare.
Baker.
Yeah, his name was Mr. Baker. In Hillside. Hillside Hornets go, hey. But yeah, if it wasn't for that junior high
Yeah.
snare drum class
Right,
and introduced, you know, Cat had his bass right there,
Right.
and you know, he went to the
So what
bathroom.
I'm afraid of is
you know what I
people,
mean?
kids these days, they don't have a lot of that. So
They don't.
They hear music, and I think it's the type of the kid. They go if they hear like this note, like what was that?
Yeah.
And it's like they go whoa, because now it's so processed. As we all know, I can call
Yeah.
it. You know, it's so processed. Nobody's
Yeah.
singing. Nobody's playing the instruments. It's like
Yeah,
it's
fucking-
hooks. And
it's
the
a
hooks, by the way,
stupid sample.
you know what a hook is?
God, I hate
a hook is what
samples.
grabs your
Attention.
yes, it grabs your attention. And most of those hooks are written by very few people way up there.
Yeah.
That they bring down and they bring it back to we'll try this with that person.
Yeah.
That person looks good. They look like they
Yeah.
look pretty.
See if this will
They
work.
might have a pretty good voice, but we'll
Yeah.
fuck with it. Who cares?
Yeah.
So let's do all that, you know?
Yeah.
modify.
So-
Process.
Yeah.
It's just asking. So, what was? I want to find out some things about you. So, when you were younger, who was turned you on to music?
Like
Yeah.
earlier, like was Mick Jagger on Saturday Night Live.
No, but like, was it like
Motown.
someone
Like-
in your family, that type of stuff? Like, who do like?
Oh,
You know what I mean? First
yeah,
got you
yeah,
pointing
yeah,
in that
yeah,
direction, you know. And, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. My older brother, he's 4 years older than I am. It's like that weird thing. Like I was a little bit too young, and he was 4 years older than I am. So
It was that little
there's a
that
lot
little
changed
musical
that maybe it's
bridge gap, right?
puberty or something. I don't
I
know
got
what
this.
it is.
I got the same thing with one of my
But
brothers.
it's like,
Yeah, it's
you know,
just
and all of a sudden I was like walking. We had this thing, tri-level thing, like upstairs, middle stairs, downstairs kind of thing. He lived down by the laundry room with a big family room. Right, we had a living room.
Were you on the
There's
East
3
Coast?
bedrooms upstairs.
Where did you grow up?
It was I didn't grow up here. I was born in Naples, Italy.
Oh, no
Well,
shit.
my mother was pregnant with me. My father had sex with my mom in San Diego, California.
Yeah.
Then, when she was 6 months pregnant with me, we flew to Naples, Italy. So I was
Okay.
born in Naples, Italy. Then I went to England. Then I was on a ship for almost a year in the Mediterranean. Then I came to the United States when I was 7. And I came to Ohio, Utah, Arizona, California.
Army or Army brat?
I'm a Navy brat.
Navy brat.
Just like Jim
No
Morrison.
shit.
Just like Jim Morrison, yeah.
You've been all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
All
when
over the
he's a
place.
baby.
Well, I remember all of it. I remember being in the ship in the Mediterranean completely. It's like, I remember the oceans, the waves coming over, the thing with the nannies holding me, and the thing with the pea coat and all that stuff.
The
Remember
pea
what happened?
coat.
Yeah. Seriously. So, but to answer your question, so what was your question? Sorry.
You were mentioning it was like your older brother turned you on to music. And,
Right. So my brother, do you guys remember this? He had this huge, I'm talking huge Kiss poster, giant, huge
one?
Led Zeppelin poster.
Yeah.
I'm not talking anything like this. I'm talking like
No,
remember those
huge.
things?
Tablet.
Yeah, those
Huge posters, dude.
Yeah.
He had those in those rooms, and he's playing Kiss fucking
I think I had the Love Gun poster. That was
yeah, or Destroyer,
Yeah,
or
that
something
one
like that,
was
right?
there too,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
But one of their very early albums,
early
right?
albums, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, he's older than I am, so I'm like cruising through, like whatever, it's like, I
And
just remember like, I was in the comedy then. I remember like taking these tape recorders out and, and being myself in my room and just playing comedy and like run into a wall and go boom, bam. And I was in like acting and all this kind of thing in there, like kind of thing, but it was all that thing.
But now, you mentioned like some of your influence was like Mick and the Stones. And,
Jagger, yeah. Michael Schenker was my second rock star.
No, but was there any one particular moment where it finally hit? Like, do you just remember all of a sudden, I need to do that?
Well,
You know what I mean? Where the light went on.
yeah.
Oh!
The very first thing, I love Motown. I remember being in the back of my dad's little station wagon Pinto, and I think it was my dad and one of his friends, and I couldn't even see over the dashboard. And I was in the back seat, and I remember this. We're driving down the street, and all of a sudden, American Pie comes on. Bye, bye,
Yeah.
Miss
American Pie
right?
Joe.
So if you listen to those lyrics, I'm sitting in the back seat, and as the song progresses, he's talking about when the music dies. So I'm all into this whole Motown thing, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. It's a little different. So all of a sudden, he's talking about when the music dies. So I'm like, they're talking. We go to Jack in a Box, so I'm like, I can't even see over the dashboard, and I'm like, the music's gonna die? I'm thinking like the music. This is the last song they're ever gonna play.
What?
This is the end?
This is the end of the song. And what was killer, they had real DJs back then. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm in the back seat, and then the last note goes out with everything, and there's huge silence. And
Big
I'm like,
dead air.
I'm really thinking the music's over.
Done.
There's no more music ever gonna play again.
Done.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So- and I was almost gonna say something, but I didn't want to because I was kind of shy and like they're talking. I was like, did you guys hear this? I'm thinking like, hello. It's like I could see the stereo with the lights. It's nighttime and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden he goes, hey, this is whatever the signal of the thing was. My joint fell off on the ground from my glass thing, and like I picked it up. And sorry if that's a little long, but hey, here's the next song. So I was like,
Sounds like our show.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, hey, all right.
Sorry.
All right.
to take
My
a
name is
bong
Gil.
break.
Guilty
Yeah.
Crimes, yes. Okay, so what was the... do you remember the first band that you actually played a show with?
The small band, big band.
Yeah. Very first time, like, even as a kid, whatever, high school.
I remember when I played in a UFO tribute band in Tucson. We played in this garage, and then there was this band that played before us that played Deep Purple, and they played because in those days it was like, this is after them. I mean, they're happening, but it was a bit after. You know what I mean? I don't want to date myself, but it was like, you know, we're all just like kind of, we just wanted like, you know, who can do this better, you know, all this kind of stuff. So I sang music in those days. I did UFO, I think, Too Hot to Handle, and I did those kind of things. But I think before that was a Deep Purple band. I think when I became a professional musician, it was more like, I mean, as a drummer, as a singer, as a guitar player, there's a lot of bands.
Oh,
first.
yeah.
Yeah. The first one that I knew that I wanted to do was a local band. We went to see Rush, and we went to see another band. So we went to a bar before that. And back in the day, there was a band called Two Days Late. And they're really, really big back then. So 2 days late, I guess, yeah.
Very cool. So what's been like the whole best part of it? Like the best experience has been behind the kit or being in front of the mic?
Definitely in front of the mic, playing guitar, writing music. I mean, the drums are awesome, but no offense, but it wasn't my thing, man. You know, I could play, and even back then I wrote music with them, and like we play, and he plays something, and be cool, and you know, I go, we need to go down to a bridge, we need a drop down. I would help write music. So that's where it kind of started from, you know, because I could tell what I want to do. I could feel in my mind what's going to happen, you know. And, you know, had a lot of guy playing with me in those days. So I guess, I don't know, as a drummer then, and later as a guitar player, you know, as you go along, you get more refined and more just, you know what you want, you know.
How many years were you doing drums?
Not long, dude. Like I said, I had almost 12 years of my life where I didn't play any music. So, you know, if I would have been playing music since I started playing music, like I said, I think I'd have been dead, or you know. So now I'm happy what I'm doing, and you know, so
sometimes like just being a front man, just without your guitar or any instrument.
That's the cool thing.
That is. Because there's a whole different side. Because
you're not.
You're not concentrating on anything else. Your job at hand is just to be the front man and sing the songs correctly and pronounce your words legibly. Yes, and you know, and create a vision for people that are watching your music.
Yeah. I like singing and writing music and melodies the most because I'm not the most incredible guitar player. But even my incredible lead guitar players, why would they play with me? They're like, dude, you're a great... They think, like, how can you sing and play guitar at the same time?
Right.
There's so many musicians who go,
can't do that.
You know what I'm saying?
We got it down.
So, you know,
we got it down.
Can you tune, you know, chew gum and
well, could you go
walk at the same time? You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Like,
no.
To me, it's like, you know, it's a lot more, but it's if you can sing and play guitar, so that's where these guys are like, dude, you play great rhythm guitar, you got the greatest feel, you got the greatest lyrics, you got the greatest, you know, melodies, so I'm happy with these guys. So
Roll with it. Roll with it.
And what's up next for Lit Soul?
We have a video, hopefully, coming out. David DeVos, if you're watching. He's in Seattle. He might be watching, or we'll see this tomorrow. Yeah. So we have a new video coming out.
Actually, let me put that over so you can actually see it. Say that now.
Okay. Oh, they can still see you, but
okay. Yeah. So we have a new music video called Outcast coming out hopefully this week, and that's the stuff where I did the footage of, and he put it all together. And then we have a gig coming up February 23rd at PD's place. We're playing with Stonebreed. We're playing with Nightmare, Alice Cooper. And there's a great rhythm guitar player, acoustic guitar player opening up for us. His name is Drew. I'm sorry I missed his last name right now. But he's amazing. I mean, right now, I think tonight he's playing at Universal Studios somewhere up there. Yeah. He's really, really, really good. I'm not talking on the street. I'm talking he's playing inside somewhere. Yeah. He's really, really good. So he's going to play first and warm everybody up. Right? Then we're going to come in. We get a sound check. We're going to fucking kick in. Then after that's the Stonebreed. And after that is Nightmare. So that's a huge night at PD's.
Excellent.
And then after that, we're playing in Pasadena with at the Rose. which is a very cool gig, right? You guys
Yeah.
are
And I've been there. It's actually a very nice,
place.
Dude, they have 3, green rooms. They serve you dinner.
Yeah.
You can warm
Treat
up.
you.
You get a sound check, and
Right. Treat you
no,
like
come on, is it all about sound checks or what?
It
know,
is all about sound
Come
checks.
on, line checks suck. Dude.
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean-
it's like you get a sound check and you hang
and
out.
in
you
some
know,
some cases, even the sound check sucks.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. But
Not
anyways,
all
we're gonna
things
go
are
for
up to par.
we're gonna go for Wild Child with the Doors tribute band. Dave Brock has been doing it since the '80s, and like I said earlier, if you close your eyes, it sounds like you're 1968 with the Doors. Jim Morrison,
Seasoned vet.
Seriously,
I know
if you close your eyes, especially you guys smoke a little pot, you know what I mean, and you
I
go
will.
like,
a
oh,
little pot.
it's like
No.
you are right
Oh,
there,
you
dude.
don't
You are
insult me.
right
Burr.
there. 1968, the Doors. Seriously.
Yeah.
So
No,
we're gonna
yeah.
play right before them.
Now,
Hell
I know
yeah.
he's amazing. I know I've been hearing that Wild Child since I've been out here,
Yeah.
and I didn't know it was the same exact guy or if they had rotation going through. But shit,
No, he's great. Dave Brock. Yeah,
Yep.
totally, man. And like I said, he played with the last lineup with the real Doors. I know so much inside information. Ray and Robbie said they would never want to be a tribute band. They don't want to bring in like Dave Brock and all this and all that. That's why they brought in Ian Astbury from the Cult, who's a real rock star. I mean, he's
Yeah.
huge. I mean,
Yeah.
come on,
he's
this
established name.
band-
and
Yeah. So he brought him in, and Ian wants to know what Jim had for breakfast. I mean, he actually knows what he had for breakfast. What I'm saying is like he was so into the Doors
Yeah.
that he was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll do this."
Yeah.
He did it for 6 years, dude.
Yeah, that's
He did
amazing.
it for 6 fucking years with Ty,
Right.
that guy right there.
Yep.
Right. So they did the
Badass.
whole thing. Then all of a sudden,
That's
Ian
some
figures
stories.
out, "Oh my god, I got my own band. Maybe I should go back and recreate my own band." So
Ta-da.
yeah, and that's what he did. So and the rest is history.
And now you got Ty,
Yeah.
just like that. I'm digging it. Hey, let me see. I think we even have one more Lit Soul tune lined up here. What do we have here? We have a Petrified Time. Tell us about Petrified Time.
Petrified Time is basically kind of a political song, if you listen to the lyrics, and it's kind of heavy. I wrote the whole lyrics, and co-star I did, but the riff, dun, 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 whatever. So, Ty comes in. There's actually a video if you guys want to play it too.
Yep. I
It's
think I
Petrified Time. I don't know if the fans can see it, but
No, we were.
Let me get back.
No, this past week, my brother was in here. He was promoting this thing he has going on called the Founding Fathers Rock, which was like an American history lesson done to rock and roll.
yeah.
So it's like politics. Yeah, it was more of back then, Founding Fathers, 1776. But
Yeah.
some was the beginning of politics out here and politics now. So that's
Well, the thing with politics is like I don't want to go, left or right. There's no really left or right. They make the Republicans and the Democrats this way, so that way you don't see what's going really above that. There's actually a secret government, the whole world bankers above that. They try to confuse you with the left and the right. What the real left and right is, there's total tyranny on the right, where you can't make a move without the government. Then you have the complete left, where there's complete freedom, but people might think it's anarchy. Because if you have complete freedom, there's no laws, there's no sheriffs, there's no nothing. It'd be totally crazy, right? So there needs to be a middle. But what America's been coming to is way over here, where they're almost becoming socialists and communists, where you can't make a move. Put it this way, back in the day, the Tea Party, there was a 0.5% tax on tea, and people went nuts. Now we're taxed almost 40% of our income, and everybody's cool with it because you get a little
Not everybody.
kickback. You get a little kickback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my point is just you have to go back. You have to don't watch the news. Don't watch all this stuff that's going on. That's all propaganda. They're putting in your face. Hopefully the internet's still going to be alive for a while, where they won't be like
Yeah.
China, where they're going to shut down everything. So you still can get certain things that you can see, but the basic thing is things are very simple. They try to make it so complex.
yeah, just
So-
And
take it here,
complicated.
take it here, take it here, take it there.
But anyways, freedom.
We are the
That's
We
right.
the people.
We the people. Amen. All right, so here is Petrified Time from Lit Soul on C4OC Radio.com.
live it up. You don't need it. You got to free it up. You can't have it alright. Rip the cuffs, leave all the outlaws and knives of America. Takes me to pieces like a loaded gun. Almost more she needs the sun. You evil sadness betrayed us. A son. Always beauty of imagination. A heart unfortified, a mind impatient. Screaming to the skies where we dine the night knives of America. Can I feel alive and and I see a smile. True descends on you. Success, move on.
And we got 5, 4, 3, and yo, what's going on, metalheads? Mike C with the House of Metal Radio Show, and you were listening to C4OC Radio. Just had a double shot there of Lit Soul. Tell us what we had there, Rob Chevelle of Lit Soul in the C4OC Radio compound this evening.
Dude, we're talking so much, having a good time. What the hell played there? So that was
some Petrified Time, maybe.
That the video was Petrified Time, but what we were listening to was
Behold
My Name. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, Petrified Time, Behold My Name, blah blah blah. But Behold My Name is a pretty heavy song. That's the first song that we ever recorded with a new lead guitar player, Steve Sampson. Steve Sampson, who's gonna watch this now or later. So, incredible guitar player. We write music and stuff. That's the first thing, man. And what's so cool about that riff, he's like, dude, he's been in Burn Cycle. He's been in Stonebreed.
Yep.
You know those songs? You know those bands, right?
Oh, fuck
you know what I'm
yeah.
talking about?
Yes, he's a badass
great
motherfucker.
musicians, right?
Talented.
He had that song in his heart. He brought it to him. And I'm just saying, they went, nah, I don't really do that. It's cool. No, thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
I like it.
So he brought it to me. I was like, because that's when he played my music. We're all, going out doing gigs and stuff. And I'm like, hey, why don't we write some music? And he's like, okay, well, I got this riff, but don't know if you're going to like this, And he told me that they didn't like it. And I go, well, that made me even want to go, well, let me hear it, right?
Yeah, right?
So he played it. So I wrote the entire melody and lyrics. And I actually helped structure the song with a breakdown. Because the song was pretty much like this. I said, we need a breakdown. We got to break this down, to like this is just a bass kind of thing, and like get a groove going and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So so we did that, and there it is, man. And I want to make a video for it pretty soon, but now we're on to new songs like Straight in the Sun, and we have another song called You're Not Well. You're not well and all that, So sometimes look for
Support.
You know what I'm thinking? You know what I'm thinking? Help me out here.
Trust me, I know what you're talking about. I got a lot of songs in my head that I got to keep track of.
She's been there recently because, dude, we sit on the couch, we watch Vikings.
Yeah.
Like, dude, by the way, Vikings, like, I love Ragnar, right? The entire 4 seasons. You ever see that shit?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, Vikings. Dude, the entire 4 seasons was incredible. Then we totally lost our whole thing when he got killed.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Now what
I'm
do
a
we do?
UFO ancient alien
yeah.
guy.
Now what do we do?
I don't watch much TV. I only watch TV when I go to her place. I watch no TV because I have so much going on in my life and like music and all that. So my point is, there you go.
You got contacts.
Vikings.
Vikings. Yeah.
But heck yeah, but I know every time we've had Lit Soul play, I know there's been a couple different lineups, but
Yeah.
all the members that you assemble, as you mentioned, whether having Steve, you've had Jerome, Ty, you've had and still have some excellent musicians. And I know with having Steve and doing some work with him, that's probably bringing out some stuff you tapping into the first time, but especially when you're digging the groove or the vibe or you're feeding off of each other, that's always like, how's that feeling with Steve going so far?
It is, because I don't know how to say this, but it's like, I moved on when Jess was out of the band. I was like, okay, cool. I took a break. And I was looking around for guitar players, and a lot of guitar players, but I want to jump into something. You like, oh, can we play together? It's like,
yeah.
I want to get something. Yeah, exactly.
It is a relationship. It is.
It's like, is she hot? It's like, it's like, God, I'd like to do her, kind of thing. It's like, it's kind of
things
like,
I would do to that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I was a little bit like, because he's been in Stonebreed, he's been Burn Cycle, he's been in a lot of bands. I'm like, oh, fuck. But he's always been so nice. He's always complimenting me on my music, right? So I was like, okay, cool. So I feel comfortable contacting him,
Yeah.
So I contacted him, and I told him, hey, man, I'm writing some new songs. I said, let's take baby steps. I'm not talking about doing gigs. I'm not talking about doing an album. Would you like to come over and just write some songs?
Right.
He goes, sure. And I'm like, okay, cool. So when would you like to do that? It's like
right.
So that's how it started, So
Right.
now he's in the band almost 2 years now. Almost 2
Hell
years.
yeah.
Dude, this guy's like fucking Pantera. He can do all this shit, dude. I'm seriously, he's fucking
Got it
epic.
all down.
And what's cool is like he brought Lit Soul a little more heavy, like my songs that I wrote, all songs. I pretty much wrote all those songs you saw on guitar. So he brings heavier shit, but I still pull it back melodically.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want to do the whole Cookie Monster thing. I can't even do that. I don't want to do that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
It's not
maybe
you,
I could
is it?
try, but
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to do more. Sometimes some big metalheads are like, oh, well, okay, but that's why I like, the Cold. I like him. I like,
Yeah.
the Doors. I like, that kind of stuff where you can actually hear the lyrics.
Lyrics you can hear.
You can hear the
You can understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's great hooks and all that. So
Because the lyrics paint a picture.
yeah.
Yeah, and that puts a face to the music.
Absolutely.
So if they can't see your face, then what do
Yeah.
you got?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm with you like that too. Like,
It's all crap after that.
yeah, you gotta make your vocals, so people can understand them. Because it takes it to another level with the music.
I'm not the most incredible singer in the world. Everybody knows that, right? But I feel like I'm a good songwriter. You know what I mean? And I have pretty good voice. I can play drums. I can write music. I can play guitar. I can put all this whole fucking thing together.
Right.
You know what I mean? I
Right.
know what people will like.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of just making it all come out and
Making it
exploding,
happen.
Yeah.
Getting the right people in there to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And I got the right people.
Yep.
So so it's gonna happen. Yeah.
I know.
Hell
I'm looking
yeah.
forward to seeing whatever you or actually listen and hear what you have coming out next with you and Steve and the guys, because it's if that was just a little sample of what we've had so far, and I know the more you guys
Would you like to hear a
write
new
together-
lyric from the new song?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
We're right here.
All right, here we go. It goes, serpents in the night struggle to the moon. Applegate was right, set me for you. On this blackest wing, forged my reality. Forged to the black night, seen through fuck, I fucked it all up. Sorry.
Hey,
No.
hey, but give us a little.
Serpents in the night struggle to the moon. Applegate was right, set me for you. Fly on the blackest wings, forge my reality. Soar through the black night, sing for reality, yeah.
Fuck yeah,
It is.
yeah.
It's kind of like a
Nice little
spiritual.
Yeah.
The beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a breakdown. It's a breakdown bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig it.
It's called Straight Into the Sun.
Hell yeah.
Straight into the sun.
Straight into the
Straight
sun.
into the sun.
Yeah. It's kind of starts poppy off. Oh, by the way, she wanted. Remember when you guys said new bands?
Yeah.
Like people. Do you guys know this band called Greta Van Fleet?
Oh yeah, Greta Van Fleet.
Heard of her.
Young,
Greta
young.
Van Fleet. They're almost like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
21, 2 years old, but they play like Led Zeppelin.
Right.
Yeah. They have chicks
Yeah,
there, right? She
and all
sounds
the
like
critics
she
like
sounds
they're just like
Joplin.
Led Zeppelin and blah blah. But you know what my opinion is? Is fuck yeah. If they are 21, 23 years old doing Led Zeppelin on their own, I don't believe anybody's brainwashed them to it. I believe they actually, love that music.
stumbled upon it.
Yes,
and we're
they're
digging
really,
it.
really, really good. Maybe when it's all over, we can play that stuff over here. But my point is, they have their whole thing, and now they're pretty fucking huge.
Yeah.
You know they have puppet strings, but
Oh,
they
yeah.
know they have really good musicians. They dress them, but I believe they write their own music, and even Robert Plant knows about them. And
yeah.
Robert Plant, that sounds like the first album of Led Zeppelin. It really
Right.
does, dude.
I dig that.
And they're 21 to a year. It's called Greta Van Fleet. Check them out.
Good.
And that's the thing, you
Yeah.
know, it's not
Yeah.
it's not bogging anybody if you're just paying homage,
Right.
you know.
Right, it's original music.
Yeah. Cuz you can still be original and still use the old
They're
school
playing
ways.
original,
Yeah.
you know, everything. So when kids these days, they can go, you know what? They see that on Saturday Night Live, which they did, which is people, that wasn't really a great performance, but I think it's pretty good.
But
you
it
know.
still gets people exposed.
Because, dude, what is it, 9 a.m. in the morning or something like that? Or, you know, it's freezing. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, there's
Yeah.
no, it's like,
And that's
whatever,
the thing
but,
too.
yeah.
It's like I like to see people taking the old music and using that to make new music rather than sampling that music
I hate sampling.
because
Oh, yeah.
you don't know how to
It's
play.
original.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everybody takes from everybody.
Yeah.
I take from people. You know you
I
take
do.
from people.
Oh, I do.
But you're not sampling them.
No.
You just remember a hook and you're like, I like that. Maybe put that in
Yeah, try that.
my bridge
Put a little
section, you know?
different tempo to it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, whatever. You know.
And that's
what I mean?
cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
you know?
arrangement.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool.
but when it's the same thing over and over and over.
Right.
Yeah, but
I just want to kill. That irks. Yeah, sorry.
straight
that
up
one irks
stealing
me, that
some
one
lit
irks me.
soul to make my record is not, you know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sampling your music to make my record, you know. That's
Oh, yeah.
It's a little different.
why don't you just fucking learn how to play an instrument?
Yeah.
It's really simple.
Yeah.
It's you could learn how to play an instrument in the same amount of time as it takes for you to learn how to push those buttons. Seriously, right?
Oh, you're talking like techno and
Yeah, and
yeah.
all that stuff. You know what I mean? I believe like
All
techno
those
and
industry
rap.
guys.
Rap would be great if there was a band behind him.
There's this Mimi, I don't know what his name was. Some guy doing like a thing. His name was something bass, and he goes something like that's bullshit. And they have Lemmy real bass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like-
right. I
you know
saw
what I mean?
that.
It's like, and this
No,
guy's
that
doing
ain't-
scratch things. He's
that
like doing
ain't
scratch
bad.
things.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
no,
it's like,
no,
you know,
no,
it's like,
no. This
No,
is
no, no,
bass.
no, no, no.
Yeah,
Fuck no.
Are we still live?
yeah.
Yeah, we're still alive. Hey.
Just talking shit.
Talk shit.
To you guys in South America, around the Horn,
Is that
pirate ships.
okay.
Hey, so for the listeners out there, where all can people find Lit Soul?
Thank you. Just go simply to litsoul.com. That is LITSOUL. By the way, people ask me this a lot of times. Lit soul means a soul on fire. It doesn't mean like another girl told me the other day. It's like, does that mean you're like a Satanist, like lit soul on fire? No.
Why would you?
It just means a soul on fire. It means a soul. I believe everybody is a soul. They're immortal. They have a body. You know, it's like so. It's a soul on fire. You know what I mean? Like you
took
have
it
your
like
burn.
this.
You have your burn. You love music.
Yep.
You have your burn. You know, you have your burn.
That's
you have
what I
your
mean.
burn, you know?
Like, I
It's
feel like
your
it's
soul on fire. Like what your purpose is. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
getting lit up about it too, enthusiastic.
Well, you're gonna go all lit up again on me and stuff.
Yeah, well, maybe.
No, I just saw
Maybe.
Cherry a couple weeks ago. Come on.
You never know.
No. So anyway, litsoul.com. We're playing again. Petey's Place, the 23rd.
And that's at 6025 Reseda Boulevard in Tarzana.
Bam.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So then we're playing the next month at the Rose in Pasadena. with Wild
No,
Child.
no,
What's the address? What's the address?
I don't know.
Yeah, what's that?
Because House Metal was starting to do some shows up at Petey's place. So.
Yeah.
In fact,
Anyways, rock and roll, everybody. Come on, everybody. Thank you
that's
so much
right.
for you guys. This guy, come on, Michael, Danny, come on.
hey, I want to thank
Yeah.
We couldn't do it without
Rob
all the
Chevelle
bands.
from Lift Soul for
Being
coming and invading
cooperative.
the C4C compound tonight. Thank you for Serena for gracing us with your presence as well.
Yeah.
And heck yeah, I can't wait to get some new, more Lit Soul in here. So you'll say when you get some new
we have it coming up,
MP3s.
Can I say one thing about last thing about that? Sorry, you're right. No, I'm
No,
sorry.
no,
I totally just like
No,
you know.
no, you didn't.
You're
do
just
well.
like, oh,
No,
shit,
no,
okay,
trust
sorry.
me, that one's geared in. That one's fucking. I can call up at will.
Anyway, so we have a new album coming out. We actually have an old song. It's a beautiful, kind of like Home a little bit, but it's a little more different. We have that in the back burner, and now we have 3-4 more songs. We have 3-4 more songs that's coming up. So we're making a CD. It should be out in maybe August by my birthday.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And how many songs are going to be on this?
It's gonna be EP because that's what you do these
Yeah.
EP. You know, you do a whole album. I love to do a whole album, but these days people want like either like one song kind of thing, like
Instant gratification.
yeah, exactly, or an EP of 6 songs.
Yeah.
People, their attention,
Attention
it's like
span.
12 songs, or like they listen to it unless they're really into you, and they're like, oh my god, it's like a whatever. It's like they want to hear if it starts off great, it goes into something else. Maybe they'll listen to a little bit, then they'll go back by survey. I've seen this shit. Then they'll go back to the first song. If the first song really hits you, that's what they do these days. They go back and they're like, back in the old days, you open up the albums, you listen to the whole first side, second sides.
Pull things out. You read the lyrics and that kind of stuff. Going through all the sheets.
Call up your friends. Hey, I got the new Metallica album. Come on over. You come over there. You light up a joint. You sit on your homie's bed and you're like looking at the album cover and you're like, listen, turn it up, dude. Turn it up.
Don't scratch it. Don't.
Like, yeah. And then you're all, I'm gonna be that dude one day. Yeah, you know.
Who back in the day didn't have headphones because you're so fucking poor? So you laid on the floor and you put the fucking speakers. You laid on the floor and you put the speakers over your fucking head and you cranked it.
Yep.
And then your dad was going boom, 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 boom. You're like, what? You didn't even fucking hear what the fuck. When the song's done, there's like little part in the middle. You're like, boom, 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 boom. What the fuck?
Nah.
My dad was weird. He was like, we had a 3 speaker set up, so he's like, yeah, put them right here, and then put the one on top. So it's facing down at you.
Oh, that's over mine. Oh, what
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fuck?
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Pops is like, if you're gonna do it right. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Quit fucking around.
My parents would go off. We had the headphones, but I didn't realize that if I'm singing, I'm just listening to this. That's all I can hear. Just hearing some god awful fucking screaming. I just remember one time my father opened up the door. My parents are Irish, like right off the potato boat from Ireland. And it's like, Jesus, Mary, St. Joseph, shut up! Won't you shut the fuck up! I've been listening to you screaming, man, and just going off, and I was like,
One last question for you, cut out. I want to know from you and you, same question. What was your first musical moment of rock and roll and yours?
Shit.
As a kid or whatever. As a kid.
No.
Like the first time you recognized that music, or the first time you recognized music, period.
The first the thing that really turned me on, that like just totally soaked me in. My brother was here last week, and you were mentioning about big ass posters on the wall and that type of shit. So go back, it was probably about 1974, 75. My brother used to cut out between all of Rolling Stone, Cream, Hit Parader, and all those magazines, all these great individual pictures of the artists or bands. It could have been like from Mott the Hoople, Stones, Bowie, early Priest, early Maidens. I mean, everyone that was rock, hard rock, the beginning of heavy metal. And his whole wall was probably about 12 feet wide. So he had this. It was
about this, right? Or
about that wide, and he made it about 5 feet high, and it just covered the whole wall. He made this whole. It was fucking amazing. There was probably about 300 to 400 individual photos. Wow. And I remember he had this room closed. He wouldn't let you in there until it was done. It took him, I forget how many days, to put all these pictures together. And I've always listened to the music. I always got turned on. But I remember just opening up that one day and just seeing that, and my jaw just hit the fucking floor. I mean, I was always listening to like the Images of Kiss and everything. That was always great, and that kind of like got me. But just seeing all of that at once, it was just like, oh, I'm like, these are all these albums that he has here in milk crates that I've been listening to and drive my parents crazy. You know, just singing and just thinking I'm the only one who can hear it. You know, and but that was that moment.
That was
Heavy. It's heavy. Nice. You?
Well, for me, it's probably two separate concerts, you know, because the first one would be my parents took me to the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City, which is not there anymore. And I saw Boston.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd listened to Boston before that, you know, because Pops listened to
Born with Freedom.
Yeah. But my big thing was the big organ thing. You know, the big organ thing. And so they took me. I was about 3-4 years old, and we were right there right there, not in GA, but up here in the seats, right next to the stage. And I remember the keyboardist came out, and it went over the crowd, and he did this 360 and a big cloak on, and it was the big pipe organ, and I was like, yeah. But then, like 2 years later, they took me to Parliament, the Mothership Connection, and
P-Funk?
yeah, but it was the Mothership Connection album, and it was like, welcome Parliament, and they were in a spaceship.
Wow.
And the shit went on the stage.
Wow.
And then the stage opened up, and
yeah.
all like
Funkadelic.
30 people
Funkadelic?
came out.
Funkadelic?
Yeah, 30 people came out, right?
Yeah.
And then they all partied and then went back in there,
Oh, wow.
and then took it back off up there. So that was the showmanship. I was like, that's what I like. And then the other one was for the actual instruments. When I saw Boston and the keyboard and everything, I was like, you know, I really got to look
Never
at.
saw Boston ever.
Yeah, that was great stuff. That was, I think that was before the Don't Look Back album, the second one that wasn't. So the first one, everybody knows the first Boston album, and that's the shit, right? I delivered my papers with that on those big headphones. You know what I mean? That would be that you get the radio, and they had the big antenna, the big thing. Yeah, and I had a
Oh, the tinfoil hat? The tinfoil hat?
almost like that.
Okay.
And then I think one of them was held on by tinfoil. But and then I had my little tote goat, and then my bag of fucking papers, and I would
Blow down shit.
yeah go deliver my paper right after school. Put those on. Listening to Boston.
Sweet.
Yeah. Good times.
All right, he's going out. He's going out.
Well, I want to say thank you for rolling down here tonight. Fucking braving the elements, because I know it was such shitty weather coming down here tonight in friggin' Southern California. We have friggin' practically monsoon weather out here. It's so damn nasty. Got your kayak ready?
Oh, yeah. It's good.
Yeah,
I'm
it
ready
was
for
bad.
that shit. But hey,
So I'm building an ark.
Hey, don't forget to join me this upcoming Tuesday for the House Metal Radio Show from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be mentioning some of the bands that are going to be going on at our show at Petey's Place next
February
weekend.
23rd,
Where is it?
Saturday night. It's only $5. We got Stonebreed, we got Nightmare, Litzel, and it's a great acoustic God. He's playing before us as we play. So 4 great acts, $5.
Is that
Come on down, let your hair down.
There it is.
Everything down.
Is that it?
Yeah, and then on
No.
February 9th, this upcoming Saturday, House Metal, we actually have Heretic, Cave-In, Heaviness, and
Bam.
what's that last one? Intentional Rage.
Yep.
It's the first time we're having Intentional Rage, so I was drawing a blank on that. But looking forward to that upcoming show.
Is that
as
straight
well.
up like fucking, death metal or what is
It's
that? Like
just it's a very heavy night. It's
Yeah,
not death
definitely,
metal.
yeah,
It is,
The Cave-In's not really heavy, but they're
they sound somewhere between.
It's
like,
a little more above death. It's you got the grave like 6 feet under.
would like to
then,
say-
then there's the soil, so they're a little bit above that,
They're
right?
more-
A
they're
little
more
bit above
like
that. They-
fast
you know,
paced.
what I'm
they're
talking
just
about?
fast paced.
Like the clouds and the sun's way
No,
up there.
that's too
They're a little more around there, right?
They're just a
Intentional
little
Rage,
fast
maybe.
page. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
But the other ones are more on
Heretic,
the,
rock and roll. That's metal. you know.
Caven's
80s
really
style.
damn good.
Caven, yeah,
They
they're
sound
just
like-
fast. No.
Yeah, between like a
You can understand his
Maiden
lyrics.
meets Megan.
Both
Hear
bands.
your voice.
Yes.
It's not cooking mustard.
Yeah.
Definitely good
No,
harmonies and that type of stuff. A lot of,
Growling.
No,
Growling.
these are actually singing.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, where's
Paul, the singer from that band, he's got some pipes. He can.
Yeah, he does.
He can sing. He'll
Yeah,
be like,
let's-
oh
Where
shit,
is
he can sing.
No, that's at Malonza.
No, Petey's place.
Petey's place. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yes.
I'm
Yeah, we're starting to do some shows
Oh,
up
it's
there.
next Friday?
Saturday.
Next Saturday. Okay.
That's the ninth.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Check
Week
that
from
out.
tonight.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Both those
You
bands.
guys are gonna be there, right?
I'm gonna
Heretic
be there. Heck
You
yeah.
and
gonna be there?
Heretic.
And Ed's gonna be there too.
Unless I'm playing, I think I'm playing somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I think you are.
that's the only reason why I don't go to some stuff.
He's playing the Tiki Bar, I think, right?
Yep, the Tiki
Tiki.
Bar. No, I'm playing at the Regal for
Oh, at the
C40. No,
Regal Beagle?
yep, for C40C, and then I'm
Over in
getting
Lincoln.
off the stage and racing over to the Tiki Bar to play with Anxious Annie at the Tiki
Regal
Bar.
Beagle? Flying with the seagull?
So I'm doing double
Saturday.
duty. I'm doing double duty at
Okay.
2 locations.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Good for you.
2 locations.
that's
Good
two
for
different-
you.
That's
Two
kind of
different
dumb.
bands.
Good for you.
Do you know how hard it is to get from
Good for
to the
you.
Regal to there in an hour? I got an hour window.
Good luck with that.
Better fire up the Mustang, right?
I hope that limo is
Amen.
Right.
sharp.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be an Uber.
Heck yeah. That's gonna be packed and ready.
Uber XL, so I can bring my amp.
Packed and ready. That's a name of an album. Packed and ready.
Packed and ready.
Packed
That-
and ready.
That does
Packed
sound.
and ready. That is
Packed
cool.
and ready.
You're gonna remember
Note that
that
down.
one.
Note
Right,
that down.
write it down.
Packed and ready.
Packed and ready.
Next album comes out called Packed and Ready. We all
See, I was
want.
inspired right
I'm with
here.
it.
I
I'm
was
with it.
inspired right here.
Packed
That can
and
mean
ready.
two different things, but okay.
Well, you know.
I like it.
Hopefully they'll go for the latter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like a tour.
Not the obvious.
All right, this is Mike C with the House Metal Radio Show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys this upcoming Tuesday night. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denny, for letting me invade as
No.
usual.
Thank you, Mike.
And thank you guys. This is Mike C, the House Metal Radio Show. You're listening to
C4OC Radio.
Lit Soul kicks ass, motherfuckers. Woo.
And if you didn't know, now you know. Okay, now we're going to go.
Sun shines with me. She heals with stars in all. Her evil winds, they cut me. Unkind words, they last forever.
Okay.
Everybody get up in here and get your horns. You guys want to get some horns in here? More horns, the better. Put your good horn out. All right, so you guys ready? Look at that white dot. Ready? 1, 2, 3.